Hello, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us for today's BU Alumni Career Webinar. This is Mastering BU Connects, a step-by-step demonstration. My name is Michael Ouellette. I'm a member of the Alumni Career Engagement Team, part of the BU Alumni Association. Today's event is offered to our 389,000 alumni around the world, as well as current students, faculty, and staff. I really appreciate everyone joining us today from all over the country and all over the world. Throughout your career, BU's committed to helping you define and achieve your professional goals, and we try to do this by providing everyone with access to a series of tools, communities, and programs just like this one. Before I begin our presentation, I just want to note you should see in your Zoom toolbar, there's both a chat box as well as a Q&A box. Feel free to type into either the chat or the Q&A as we go along. I'll try to keep an eye on those. If you type a specific question in the Q&A, that might be a little bit easier to track, but I'll also keep an eye on the chat box as well. Enter questions there as we go. I will check periodically, and we'll also have plenty of time at the end for questions. So let me get started. I actually want to start with a very quick poll. Since we are talking about BU Connects today, I'm curious what your BU Connects experience is. Take just a second here. Let me know if you don't have an account yet, if you just recently opened an account, if you've used BU Connects a lot or a little bit. I'd love to know what the kind of breakdown of experience is here. And I'll just give this just a few seconds here. I see responses coming in. All right, give it 5 more seconds. All right. I will end the poll and share the results. So I see 40% say I've tried BU Connects a couple times, but I'm not sure what to do with it. And then a decent breakdown between some folks that don't have an account yet or open an account very recently, possibly just when you heard about this webinar. And a handful of pros here. We've got a few people who seem to use BU Connects a lot, so hopefully you've gotten some good results, and if not, I'll try to give you some tips and tools to get an even better experience here. Awesome. So for those of you who are kind of brand new to BU Connect, I'll go into a few things for people that have never even experienced the platform. And then a lot of this session will be more of a nitty-gritty kind of deep dive into what you can do on BU Connect. But just to get started, BU Connect is an online platform that BU launched just about 5 years ago. And sort of this screen here that you should be able to see, this is a very broad overview. This BU Connect is a platform that's all about building community for the BU alumni, students, faculty, and staff. And we do this through a discussion feed, groups, directory, direct messaging, and I will get into all of those features in just the next few minutes. To give you a little data overload here, these are some recent numbers from the platform. We have over 36,000 members. We're actually approaching 37,000, which I hope to hit, in the next month or so. Alumni and students all across the spectrum of ages and experience. Lots of direct messaging happening on the platform, groups to join. I won't get into all the numbers here, but there's a lot going on here and a lot of activity. So I'm actually going to stop sharing for a moment, and now I'm going to go into talking about if you don't even have an account yet. I know most of the people that have logged on, you already have an account, but I'll just quickly show people if you have not created an account yet, here's how you can go about that. So first of all, you go to buconnects.com, and that'll take you to this home screen. If you click our join the Join Now button here. And you've got a bunch of different options. It's really what you're most comfortable with. Some people like to link through their LinkedIn account or through a Google or Facebook. If you're kind of an active member of our BU community, whether you're a current student, faculty, staff, or an alum who has a BU email account, then you can also log in through that what's called the Kerberos account and password. So whatever you want to do there, you can also register with another email address. So kind of choice overload here. When you go to register, let me just click with register by email. You'd enter some basic information. We've got some information for you to check out here. And then once you do that, you click continue, and it'll then prompt you to kind of take a few more actions to complete your profile. So it's pretty quick to get started. Now, if the email address and name that you enter to get started match what we have in our kind of alumni database, then you should theoretically get automatic access to BU Connects. What happens a lot of times is you might be logging in through a different email than we have as your listed as your primary email in the system, or you might be entering your name maybe as a nickname or something like that, something that doesn't match 100%, and that's fine. But if that happens, then it just goes to our kind of manual approval queue. We have some staff and student employees who go through that all the time. So we're pretty quick about approving accounts or checking in with you if we need additional information. So if you get bumped to that approval queue, don't worry about it. You should hear back from us sometimes even the same business day. And if not, it's usually within just a 1 or 2 business days. So now I'm going to, for those of you that have an account, I'm going to show you sign in. What we do here sometimes is people that maybe created an account a while back and you have forgotten your password, or you're having an account issue logging in. What often happens that we hear from is people that maybe signed in originally with their LinkedIn account, and understandably you forgot that, or maybe you signed in with Facebook or something like that. And then when you go to log in, you're trying to log in with different credentials. And so that's a lot of times what we hear when people are having account issues. If you're having a problem with that, you're welcome to reach out to me directly. I will follow up with everyone who's on this with my email address, or you can email our general alumni help desk, which is alumni@bu.edu. And we can check and see how you need to log in. And I'll show you in a couple minutes how you can actually add account credentials. So for example, if you signed in through your LinkedIn account, but you now want to add an email address, there's a way to do that. So I'm just going to log in myself here. I log in through through BU. Whoop, and hopefully I will enter my password correctly. All right, great. So now we're in the home page for BU Connects. As I mentioned before, if any questions come up along the way, feel free to enter those in the Q&A or chat, and I'll try to keep an eye on those. So when you first log in, you're going to see the home screen here. This is basically a snapshot of a lot of different functions on BU Connects. Again, BU Connects is really made for the community and for networking among BU alumni and students and anyone in the BU community. So this is going to give you some high-level views of what's going on your BU Connects account. So for example, I can see a snapshot of some recent posts that people have posted, a link to our community guidelines. Those are good to check out. You can see some things going on in groups that you have joined, some jobs that have been posted on our job board, and people that the system has suggested that you might be interested in networking with based on your profile. So take a look through the home screen here. But now I'm going to jump right into, I'm going to jump right into the discussion feed here. So on the left-hand side, this is where we have our main menu, and that's going to show you basically a high level of all the different things that you can do on BU Connects. Now, I should say if you're logging in through a cell phone or possibly a tablet, the view is a little bit different. Your menu is going to look a little bit different, but basically, if you click on your mobile screen on the top left or right, you're going to see different icons that'll show you your menu items there on your mobile device. So here in the feed, this is our discussion feed that any member can post on and view. Now, a nice thing about this is that you've got access to the general discussion feed, as well as this aggregates any discussions going on in groups that you have joined. So it'll show you everything that's going on in your own personal community based on what you've joined here. So again, anyone can post here on the discussion feed. You can post, you know, questions for other terriers. You can post, maybe you're interested in offering help to someone, or maybe you have a job posting that you're looking for. I'll get more into jobs in a few minutes, but you can really use this for anything. If you want to share something, great news about your career, if you're looking for advice on something, you can use the discussion feed to do that. So I'm just, quickly scrolling through here. You can see a few recent posts. Members can like and comment on other posts. It's great to support the community, especially a lot of the posts that we have here are people that are looking for new opportunities, looking for jobs, looking for internships, having career pivots. And it's great if you find yourself having some advice for someone else, or maybe a resource or a recommendation for someone they can reach out to. It's always very appreciated if you comment on that post. Now, this is a little bit different. The current view of the discussion feed, unlike a lot of other social media platforms that are more kind of algorithm based, this is currently, it might change in the future, but it's currently a chronological view of, you're just seeing what has been posted most recently. Now, a nice thing that's a new development with BU Connects just in the past few months is an ability to search the discussion feed. That's right here in this little search bar under the main banner image. It says search feed. And this allows you to search for any posts that have ever been posted on the BU Connects feed. So, this is really helpful if you are looking for advice, and maybe someone hasn't posted something too recently that applies to you, but if you search the feed, you might find something from, days, weeks, or months ago that is more relevant to you. So, just if I say, I'm typing data analyst, excuse me. And it's doing a little search here. Now this is popping up. It shows 47 results, people that have posted using that keyword, data analyst. And you can see going back, this is, relatively recent from June, also in June, but going back, you know, many months here, you can see, and there might be something relevant to you that that you can still comment on even after the fact, or reach out to someone directly. So definitely use that search feed bar, because that is a really helpful new addition. So let's see. Moving on. So a lot of posts are, as I mentioned, are looking for assistance. So another thing you can do is share about yourself on the feed, and post about offers of help that you're interested in making. That's very appreciated. So I'm going to move on to the directory, which is one of the key features on BU Connects. Oops. So just gonna reset my screen here. All right, I've been doing a lot with this lately, so it's being a little bit slow, but let me actually just get out of there and go back. As with any tech, sometimes it glitches a little bit. Um, but again, over here on the left-hand menu, I click on directory. And okay, now you can see this is showing you the full directory for BU Connect. So this is a big difference between BU Connect and a probably our the closest parallel to BU Connect would be LinkedIn. LinkedIn obviously is a great platform that has millions upon millions of users. So it's LinkedIn is a great platform for networking and job searching generally. But a great thing about BU Connect that's different from LinkedIn is there's no real gatekeeping. So unlike with LinkedIn, where you have to be a first degree connection with someone and goes down to second degree or third degree connections, once you're in BU Connect, you are already essentially connected with every other member of the platform. You can you can look at everyone's profile, you can reach out to anyone on the platform. So as you can see here, this shows all of our registered users, 36,831 currently. And you could theoretically look at anyone on that list. A great thing about the directory here that is often overlooked is how powerful it is with the built-in search filters. So I'm going to take a few minutes just to talk about that. First of all, you can use the search bar here to search by any keyword. It'll just search through everyone's profile, and if a keyword pops up in that profile, it'll filter down so you should see their profile in the list. But a lot of times you want to get a little bit more specific, a little bit more granular in your search. And that's something that BU Connects does really well. So over here in this filters bar, I'm going to go through briefly kind of all of these filters. So of course you can search by name. Affiliation means basically alumni, student, faculty, staff. Location, you can search by city, by state, to find people in your area. The Get Involved menu, this shows people that are either offering help or seeking help in different categories. So you can, I think it's 6 different categories that we've listed for people that are offering help. And you can search by one or all of them. And as the same thing goes with seeking help in different categories. One thing I should say after I kind of talk about the directory for a few minutes, I'm also going to show you what a profile looks like and how to update yours and a few things on there. So I'll get to that shortly. Let's see. The next filter here is mentoring. So this is for people that are offering or seeking mentoring. You can filter that way. The Boston University filter has a lot in it. So make sure you look through all of the options here. You can search by school and college, by degree, year of graduation, major interests, student organizations, residences. Relatively newer categories here are people that work in the medical, dental, and legal fields. You can actually search by specific specialties within those. And if you also work in those industries, you can add those specialties to your own profile. So people will be able to search for you that way as well. Work experience lists company, industry, and job function. And other education, this would be people that have received, for example, degrees at other universities and colleges. So just as an example here, let's say that I wanted to search for, I'll do alumni as affiliation in New York City. So New York, New York, they're in location. You can see over here, it's already starting to kind of filter down. Um, get involved. Let's say I'm looking for people that have offered help as career or industry conversations. Okay, that's narrowing down the field again. In the Boston University filter, let's say I only want to see graduates of the Questrom School of Business. I'll click on Questrom. You can search or use the scroll bar there. And how about for interests, maybe because it relates to school of business, I'll say marketing. And I'll leave it at that for now. So you can see all of those filters now brought me down from, almost 37,000 people down to 22. Now that I have this more manageable list, um, I can click through and view all of those people's profiles or look at sort of the snapshot of their title, their when they graduated, the basic information listed here in the directory. Or again, I can click through and view someone's profile in full. So yeah, it's a really great way to search for people in all different methods. Another thing is that you can try different searches. So, for example, you could do a search that includes the down here in work experience, you can search by a company or you can search by an industry, but maybe sometimes maybe someone didn't indicate their industry, but they did indicate a related professional interest or vice versa. There's a lot of ways to really tease out the information you're looking for. Um, and if you want to start fresh, you can click on this reset button and it'll then go back to the full list here. Um, let's see. I see there's a question from Kara saying, how do we change views? The left navigator column disappeared when I chose directory. So I'm not 100% sure what disappeared. So if you're sometimes things again look a little bit different on a mobile device, if that happened. But if you click directory, again, sometimes things glitch once in a while. So if for some reason you're having an issue, you might just need to refresh your page. But again, another option is clicking this reset button. And Kara, I'm sorry if that doesn't quite answer your question, but you can definitely follow up with me by email if you're having an issue after the fact. Let's see. There's also a question about how would I find alumni in a specific school or college? So great. Yeah, I'll just quickly show you again. If I click on affiliation and click alumni, then down here in the Boston University menu, I'll click on school and college. So that question was coming in from Wheelock, someone at Wheelock. So I'm going to type Wheelock, and I'll click this Wheelock College of Education and Human Development. And so I can already see that's bringing us down to, close to 7,000 people here. And if you want to get even more specific, you can go by year of graduation or click the menu for major. So yeah, take some time to explore all the things that you can do here with the different filters. um, let's see. Catherine mentions that she's heard from some students that have not received responses from alums who have marked themselves as willing to help. Has anyone else had that problem? And how updated is the willing to help section? So those are great questions. I'll get into that, coming up when I get into direct messaging. But the quick answer is, yeah, that's not something that is unusual, although we do have a pretty high success rate of people receiving responses. I'll get into the messaging soon. Um, in terms of how often is the willing to help updated, that's something that we are starting to update on a somewhat regular cadence. So we last updated that about a year ago, and we will be doing a refresh on that soon based on when people had most recently logged in. So again, if someone hasn't logged in a number of years, then maybe they've kind of fallen off the platform. You can always come back in, but that willing to help or willing to mentor, understandably, might not be as representative of them as we would like it to be. So we are starting to reset those fields to make it a little more accurate. Um, but again, I'll talk more about messaging in just a few minutes. So I'm going to move on from the directory now. I'm going to talk a little bit about profiles and then how to go about direct messaging people. Um, so first, when you're first getting started, you do want to take some time to populate your own profile. And also, if you've been a member for a while, maybe you've had some changes, maybe you didn't fill out the profile completely when you first signed up. Take a few minutes and add as much information to your profile as you feel comfortable with. The more that you add, the easier it is for other people to find you and for you to make those connections. So to get to your own profile, you will see this little circle with profile picture if you've added one. If you haven't, I definitely encourage you to. In general, with any LinkedIn or social media, people with profile pictures tend to have more engagement than people that don't. So upload a profile pic there. If you look at the little arrow next to your profile picture, you're going to see a menu for settings and edit profile. Let me actually click through to settings for a moment because this is really important. This is here you can see this is what I was mentioning before. If you maybe signed in through LinkedIn originally, but you want to add an email login, you can do that. You can do that here. Look through these options, and you can add a second or even third login option to make sure that you don't accidentally get kind of uh, stuck when you're trying to log in and can't remember how you went about that. Next, really important, check your notifications. So something that happens occasionally is that someone will, be tagged in a post, or maybe one member sends a direct message to someone else, but the recipient has their notifications turned off and they don't hear about it until they next log in. And that might not be, for a while. So make sure your notifications are turned on, especially for things like when you're sent a message or when someone comments or likes on a post that you've done. I definitely recommend turning on the email notifications. Turn on as much as you feel comfortable with. Just take a look at all of these options here to make sure that you're not missing out if you are getting messages or you're tagged in posts, because it's easy to miss. You can also look through your privacy options to see who can see your information. You can change all of those things. Now going back to my little arrow here, I'm going to go back to edit profile. You can also do this from your profile screen. But once you're in your profile, you can update and edit any of the fields here. A few of them are required, many of them are optional, but again, I recommend going through and adding as much information as you feel comfortable with, because it helps other people find you and helping to build that community. You can add your LinkedIn or other social media profiles. Scrolling down a bit, you can look and check off the areas that you are offering help or where you are seeking help, as well as mentoring options. Um, for Boston University education, this should, if you're connected to us, it should basically populate automatically, but if not, take a look at that. And you can add additional educational experiences. You can add your work history, your current position, or as many past positions as you would like to include there. And then in this other information section, that's where you're going to find things like professional interests, personal interests, um, student organizations. This is a great one. I always recommend that people fill this one out because a lot of times, especially for alumni, you might find other uh, alums or students who are currently in a club or student organization that maybe you were very active in years ago, and that's a great way to meet someone and have some common ground and hear about what's going on in those organizations these days. But there's also athletic teams, residences, the medical, dental, and legal practice areas. Those are here as well. You can check those off. There's also professional organizations, board memberships, and you can even add a little BU memory if you'd like to do that. Make sure after you've made all these changes, press your save button. You'll see that that was successful, and now that'll be updated in the system. So let's see. Let me. I'm going to keep on going on, and there's a couple more questions coming in, but I'm just going to pause on those for just a few minutes. Let's see. So next, I want to talk about how you would do the direct messaging that I was mentioning is uh, one of the most popular and used features on BU Connects. So let's say I go back to the directory and I find someone. I've done my filters and filtered down to a reasonable list of people that match the criteria that I'm looking for. Um, Now I want to send them a message. I'm actually going to pick on my boss Jeff Murphy here. Pull up his profile. I'm not sure if Jeff is on the webinar at the moment, but hi Jeff, if you are. Um, Many of you, if you've attended one of our other webinars, you might have seen Jeff's face before. So let's say I'm in someone's profile and I like what they say. I like learning about their experience and I want to send them a direct message. So there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is this big red button here that says message. You go ahead and just click that and you can write your message right in there. You can also attach. So if you need to attach a resume or something like that. I wouldn't necessarily start with attaching a resume from a very initial message, but if you get to that point, that's something that you can do. One little quirk with BU Connects is that I think it depends on settings. If you're typing, and if you press enter, I think it sends automatically. That's a little bug, I would say. But so you can use your shift enter button to if you want it to be more of a paragraph style. If not, it might send, more than one message. No big deal, but something to keep in mind. I'm going to get out of this for a moment, but when you're ready, you would just press that send button. The other way that you can send messages is by clicking this request help button. If someone has completed the willing to help or mentoring sections, then when you click request help, you can choose one of the options that they have indicated. So career or industry conversation, for example. What we've done is we've populated the message body with some resources and advice for kind of how to get that conversation started, as well as a little sample. Very important note that people once in a while forget to do this. Just make sure that you erase anything that you don't need before you send the message, so you're not including a bunch of this kind of template um, text in your message. It happens once in a while. So again, once you're ready, you've done your brief introductory message, maybe you have a specific career question or a specific type of advice you're looking for. I always recommend keeping your questions kind of bite-sized and manageable, something that someone can respond to, relatively quickly and then take the conversation from there, instead of writing a very long or very, very broad question that's hard to answer because everyone is busy. We all know, we all are. So if you keep things short, that's usually the best way to get started. But when you're ready, you click send or discard if you want to start over, but I'm going to send that here. And off that message went to Jeff. And for Jeff, that would pop up. He would receive an email notification that he received a message from someone in the system. And it would also, next time he logs in, it would pop up in this little notification bar that would have a little number attached to it. And if I click on that, um, conversations that I've had in the past. This little bell is also a notification bar for messages you've been tagged in, and other things like that. Um, let me pause for a second. I'm going to take a look at our questions here. Um, okay. Um, uh, Anna asks if there's a BU Connect app. The answer is sort of yes and no. There is an Android app. There's not currently um, an app for iPhones and Mac products. That's something that we, eventually hope to have, but we don't currently have that. But for Android, you should be able to find an app in the Google Play Store. Also, if you log in just on your browser on a mobile device, the visual experience will pull up automatically the mobile view. So it won't be the desktop view. It should be the mobile view. So even if you don't have the app, it does operate similar to an app from the browser. Um, Let me see. Uh, Someone's asking about the security in the system. Does it have two-factor authentication? Um, Someone who had a bad experience with a different platform. I don't believe there's two-factor authentication unless you go through, if you link through a different account like LinkedIn that does have two-factor, or if you are on a BU login, which does have two-factor. But if you're just creating Google as well, I think could have, if you're linking through a Google account, I think that has two-factor. So that's something to look into. I'm not a technical expert on things like that, but if you have follow-up questions, you can definitely send me an email and I'll try to get an answer for you. Let's see. Great. There's a question about the potential for using this more socially for alumni as opposed to a Facebook group? That's a good question. I'll actually get into that a little bit when we talk about groups. So yeah, definitely potential there. So I'm going to, in our kind of menu here, there's a lot to cover. So I actually will jump right to groups because that's one of the other key features here. So if you click on groups and networks, this is a way to make your BU Connects experience a little bit more personalized. So we have over 60 groups in lots of different categories. So alumni networks, both international and US based, special interests, industry groups, school and college groups. As you can see in this label bar, if I click on one of those labels, that's going to show me all of the groups that match that category. If you want to look at all the groups, first you're going to see your groups listed here, and I'm an admin for BU Connect, so I'm in most of the groups here. But if you scroll down past your groups, you'll also see more groups here. These are groups that I don't seem to be a member of yet. I should join those. If those are school and college groups, then you may only have access to those if you were a graduate or student of that school and college. But most of the groups are either basically open to anyone who is interested. So let me look at some of our most active groups are our US alumni networks. These are groups that are managed by staff in the BU Advancement kind of Alumni Association office. And these correspond to many of the major cities where our alumni live. Students are welcome to join these as well, but these are for alumni all over the US. And we are frequently updating these and adding new groups. Actually, just in the past few weeks or month, we just added groups for Miami alumni as well as for Austin alumni. So those are brand new. But take a look if you live in any of these cities or work there or have just an interest in them, you can join those groups. I'll click on one so you can take a look. This is the Washington, D.C. Alumni Network. Each group has its own group discussion feed. And most of the groups that are kind of actively managed by a staff member or volunteer will have a post usually pinned to the top telling you who they are. So if you have questions about that group, for example, my colleague Corinne manages the Washington, D.C. network. If you have questions, you can always reach out to that person directly to ask or post in the group feed. So take a look through the feed. This is Ted, who's one of our volunteers in the Washington, D.C. network. He's also a new BU Alumni Council member. He's posted about an event earlier this summer for students working and interning in the DC area. Yeah, so take a look at the different groups. Make sure if you're interested in that group that you click the join button. So then you will be part of that group. You'll see that group in your main discussion feed. And a great thing about these groups is that you will get notifications when a group admin tags the group or sends a group message. Those are usually to inform you about upcoming events and opportunities that are relevant to people in those groups. But you can also look through members of the group, basically just a duplicate version of the main directory, but it's only looking at the members of the group. And you can use the same types of filters and go to their profiles and message people just the same way that you would in the other way. So one thing that we made note of just recently is that around 2/3 of the posts coming through in the main feed are actually coming through groups. So if you're not in any of these groups, you're actually missing out on posts because a lot of people are posting in groups that are relevant to them rather than in specific rather than on the main feed. So definitely take some time to join some of those groups. All right. So much to cover, and I want to make sure we have some time for questions. So I'm going to just very quickly go through a couple more things, and then I'll open it up to more questions. But here I just clicked on the job board. So this is a space that anyone on BU Connects can both look for jobs, but also post jobs. To be honest, this is never going to be a replacement for your primary job board. That you're not going to find as much here as you will on LinkedIn or Indeed or other services, but this is a place where you can find jobs that have been posted by actual members, in addition to some positions that get aggregated through the Handshake, which is a different platform that our Career Center uses. But a great thing about this is that if you have a job opening in your organization, even if you're not the recruiter or hiring manager, you can post it here. If you click post a job, you can enter the basic information here as much as you want, or you can copy and paste a description or upload a PDF, but you can also link an actual external job board to this. So, you don't have to receive applications. You're just posting it, and then it can go to whatever external job board your organization uses. But it's a great way to get the word out about job openings and opportunities where you work, as well as internships. That's a great thing that we are really trying to encourage people. If you have internships in your organization, post them on the job board here so students can find out about them in a more kind of curated way. You can also use filters to search for different opportunities. And if you are looking for opportunities, you can click through, look at the jobs, and click on apply if it looks like an opportunity that you're interested in. So definitely take some time to explore that. I'm going to move on to the BU Businesses and Services directory. This is near the bottom of our main menu, BU Businesses and Services. This allows any BU Connects member to post their business, or especially small businesses that either you own, run, or work for, have some sort of leadership role in. You can post on here. People can post in lots of different categories, and you can also search for Terriers who have posted their business on the directory. It's a great way to promote your business, your organization, and your service. And you can search by location, by different categories. A lot of alumni have used this to post about their coaching or consulting business, real estate services, financial services, arts, kind of artisan products people have posted. So take some time to check it out, see what other people have posted, and if you manage some sort of small business, put it up here on the directory and let people see it. Take a look also for our posting policy and guidelines, just to see what is allowed and what is not allowed. It's pretty quick to take a look at. All right, let me just check my notes here for a moment. I know I sped through things. One thing that I haven't really covered too much is mentoring. I think I mentioned briefly that there are mentoring, both mentoring programs as well as sort of individual self-directed mentoring that you can do on the platform. I'm not going to talk too much about mentoring because, spoiler alert, there's going to be some big updates to the mentoring coming to BU Connects in the near future. So we'll be letting members know about some of those updates, hopefully this fall, to make the mentoring experience even better. So I won't get it too much into that at the moment. But let me pause there and open it up. Let me look at our Q&A and our chat. If you have any questions that I haven't already covered, go ahead and enter those in the Q&A or the chat. I'll take a look. Oh, I do see a few things in the chat, but all right. Is there an event calendar? There is, yes. Here in the menu, the events calendar, this is primarily pulling in events from the BU alumni event calendar, which you can find at, if you want to see sort of the full BU alumni calendar for events, that's bu.edu/alumni/events, I believe. And I can follow up with that in a follow-up email. But this also does pull in events that are happening through that. Um, and also a question about the video chat. So yes, BU Connects does have a built-in video chat. It's not using Zoom or Google. I think it is a proprietary platform. That was the question. So you're welcome to use that. From what I hear, kind of anecdotally, a lot of people will choose to, if you're scheduling a video chat, a lot of people are maybe going through another platform that they're comfortable with, like Zoom or Google Meet, or even occasionally FaceTime. But you can absolutely use the built-in video chat product as well. Teams, yes, that's another option people use. John asks, are there any limits to post content on the feed? Take a look at our community guidelines. That does list some of the guidelines that you might be interested in. But in general, if you're posting content that would be of use or of interest to our community, it's generally okay. One thing that we don't allow is anything that's kind of monetary. So we don't allow fundraising requests. You can post about your business, but not specifically asking people for money for a product. That's why you can post in the business directory and then direct people to click over to that to really learn more about your business. But yeah, you can post content that would be of interest to the community. But yeah, take a look at those community guidelines if you have questions. Looking through the chat here, Griff asks if there are alumni events and alumni in hometown of Bangkok, Thailand. There are. I know we have some alumni in Thailand. Take a look in the directory. You can search by, you could enter a country or a city, and you'll find members of BU Connect that are in your area by city and country. And events, we do have a very active international alumni engagement department that is doing events periodically throughout Asia. I don't, off the top of my head, know of any upcoming events in Bangkok, but I know we've done events in the past, and definitely something to keep an eye out for. Let's see, if you're a member of BU Connects, you'll also receive our monthly career newsletter called The Edge. That goes to not just BU Connects members, but anyone who's attended past events and has an interest in kind of career-related programming. And we try to spotlight some upcoming events in that as well. Someone asked, what's the difference with mobile notifications? I think you can opt in to, if you do have the app, which again is only for Android users currently, but if you have the app, you can receive notifications on the app just like you would with a different app. We don't currently have text notifications, but most of the notifications will be sent by email. And yeah, again, there was a question about an iPhone app. That's something that we hope for in the future. We work with a third-party vendor and developer, and so that's something that they know we're very interested in coming up with at some point. All right, I know we're coming up on our time here, so I'm going to keep answering as many questions as I can. If you have to jump off the call, I totally understand. I'm glad everyone was able to attend. I'll probably go just a few minutes over time. If you're able to stick around, please do. And otherwise, this is being recorded, and I will follow up with a recording, a link to the recording afterwards. Tom asks, can BU Connects be used by someone launching a campaign for elective office who wants to connect with alumni in a major political party? That is a great question. I would want to double check our community guidelines. My initial reaction is probably not. I think it is mentioned in the community guidelines that we don't want BU Connects to be used for kind of overtly political purposes. It is primarily a career and kind of community and BU engagement platform. So probably not going to be okay for political campaigns, but I will double check on that. Conrad said Ted's a rock star. Ted, I mentioned earlier, he absolutely is. Let's see. All right, I think Michael asks, did I cover what the resources section is used for? I didn't because we were running out of time here, but I will briefly click through there. The resources, we don't currently have a ton in the resources. That's one of our areas we're hoping to build on. One of the things that we do have is some written how-to documents. It can obviously be overwhelming, all of the different things you can do on BU Connects. So yeah, if you click on those resources, you'll see some documents about how to manage some of the features and functions that I've been talking about today. And we will hopefully have more in the resources section in the near future. All right. Let's see. I think that I have covered all the questions that came in. If I missed your question, I apologize. Feel free to follow up by email. And I will give it just one more minute here to see if any other questions come in. But I think that we got to everything. Yeah. All right. Amazing. Well, then I'm going to wrap up here. That hour went really fast, so I hope I wasn't speeding. But I hope you learned something. I hope it's more understandable how to make connection with people on BU Connect, and how to do so in an easy and but powerful way, especially through that direct messaging and the groups and directories in particular. So thank you to everyone who came today. Those were a lot of great questions. Now that you're BU Connect's experts, I hope you'll find some great value in connecting and networking with all the alumni, students, and faculty and staff on the platform. Make sure you check out BU Connects periodically. You should receive our monthly newsletter and digest that we send out, as well as again, make sure your notifications are set so you'll get emails when there's relevant posts and tags related to you and your groups. So thanks everyone for coming. A special shout out and thanks to anyone who's here who's made a donation to the university to support BU and our students. It is so valuable, especially in this day and age. It's very needed and appreciated. Keep an eye out on our alumni events calendar and our monthly newsletters for all of our upcoming events and resources. And we're planning a great series of events in the fall that you'll be hearing about starting in the next few weeks. But again, thank you everyone, and I appreciate you coming, and I hope you learned something. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Take care.